Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for attending our third in this series in 2018 of our internship webinars. Today, we're really excited to have presenting Castleton University and also Southern New Hampshire University. So I'll just quickly run over what our agenda will be. So first, Castleton, as scheduled, will present their program. After that, they will take some questions and answers. And so if you do have questions, please write them in the question box in your GoToWebinar toolbox, which is usually pinned to the top right corner of your screen. You should see about a third of the way down, it says, or halfway down, it says questions. You can twirl that open and ask your question in there. And I will be monitoring that, so when Castleton is done with their presentation, I'll be asking them any questions. So please do ask questions. It's a great time while you have the people right here to speak to live or to hear from live to ask those questions now. And then after that, we'll have Southern New Hampshire University, the people from there presenting, same thing, Q&A after that. Please ask your questions then, same question box, and then we'll have some closing follow-up information. So. Just kind of reminders of the past webinars that we did back in 2017. We did 8 webinars then in the spring into the summer of 2017, and those are all online under our talent acquisition section of our DHR website. It's internships and temp hiring options. I will post this to everybody who attended this information, so you don't have to worry about copying down this very long URL. I'll send you the information along with Castleton University and Southern New Hampshire University's presentations too, so you have them for future reference. We're also recording this webinar, so if you heard something you want to go back and listen to, we will be posting that on our DHR website also. Same thing as I spoke about from last year. We did have 3 presentations from 2018, Middlebury College, Southern Vermont College, and SUNY Plattsburgh, and those are also located in the same place that the other ones from last year are. So if you want to revisit any of those will be located on our DHR site. With that, I am excited to welcome Rene and Crispin from Castleton University, who will now present their program. So Rene, Crispin, I'm going to turn the presentation over to you in a second. A little technology challenge here. Okay, so here we go. So I am turning it over to you, and so please do take it away.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm Rene Beaupre-White, Director of Career Services at Castleton University.
And I am Crispin White. I'm the Director of the Center for Community Engagement that oversees a lot of the internships here at Castleton.
So at Castleton, we have a lot of academic opportunities outside the classroom that include internships, study away, study abroad experiences, research, civic engagement opportunities. These, of course, all promote career readiness.
Hey, Rene, I wasn't sure if you knew, but we're not seeing your okay. All right, never mind.
Now?
We can see it now, yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, great.
Okay, we're not just trying to move it forward here. There we go. Okay. So at Castleton University, we consider an internship as a valuable experience that provides a position of responsibility for our students in a professional environment under the supervision of an on-site professional and their faculty advisor. The internship experience is directly tied to the student's major. So we want to make sure that whatever experience they're getting is going to benefit them once they graduate and enter their career. Now, when we talk about internships here at Castleton, it's broken down into credit hours. A typical internship during the fall or spring semester It's roughly a 3-credit internship. That's a total of 140 hours, so roughly 10 hours a week. But the total number of hours is the most important piece. We do have students who participate in the 6-credit internship. A lot of times, if they're interested in a 9-credit or a 12-credit internship, that is an experience that's done over the summer. Most of our internships are based on 1 semester, but we do have some programs, and one we'll talk about a little later, that is a full 2-semester academic year internship.
There we go. Okay, just some recent data. Last year's class at Castleton, 53% of our students completed an internship, of which 30% were paid. You're seeing here data from the last 5 years. So internships have definitely increased here, and this is something that we are looking to continue to increase. We definitely want our students to leave here with work-related experience.
And also, as you can see, for 2017, we had 53% of our students who did internships, but we've had a lot of other students who do other engaged learning opportunities like student teaching, clinicals, things of that nature. So that number is actually much higher when you add in those other learning opportunities. So for hiring managers, we don't have any really official guidelines or deadlines on when you should apply for an intern. But some basic guidelines to go by: in the fall semester, if you're interested in an intern from, say, September to mid-December, we ask that you provide us with basic information somewhere around the middle of April. And that will provide us the opportunity to get the information out to our students towards the end of the semester and also early on in the summer. And it'll also give you an opportunity to interview students whenever you need to and get them ready so they'll be off and running in the fall semester. If you're looking for an intern during our spring semester, which usually starts around the 3rd week of January and runs to roughly the beginning of May, if we can receive that information around October 1st, we can post it around November and, again, provide you an opportunity to interview the students and get them all the paperwork and everything set for the beginning of the year. And for summer, we provide opportunities, and that's when we encourage most of our students to get involved in internships. So if we are given that information around February, we can provide it to the faculty members and students, see if some of our faculty members can recommend some of our bright students for your opportunities, and then we can get them all set for you to go for the summer. When we connect the student with an internship, we have them make sure that they are in good standing, obviously, here at Castleton as far as their grades are concerned. We make sure that they have at least 12 credits under their belt. So a lot of times we will not send the freshmen out in an internship opportunity. We want to make sure that they've gotten a lot of their core courses under their belt so they're ready to go once they start any opportunity like this. And we also have all the parties involved complete an internship application where the student will get approval from their faculty supervisor. They will get basic information from the on-site internship supervisor, and then the internship coordinator will work with them on a variety of different issues for their application as well. One thing we want to stress is when we have our students get involved in an internship, they work directly with their faculty advisor, one to work with their on-site internship supervisor to come up with a job description, but also to work on learning objectives to make sure that what they're learning in the internship opportunity is going to benefit them for their future, but also that they're providing a positive service for the internship site. So with the internship supervisor on site, the faculty supervisor, and the internship coordinator, we make sure that we have all the information together prior to the student starting their internship.
And here's a list of all of our academic majors. At Castleton, we have a large number of majors and minors and concentrations. Okay. And here's just a list of recent internships. These were actually from last year's class, the class of 2017. And all these internships were in Vermont. And so the companies and the majors. A lot of our students will do internships in Rutland County, but a lot don't. We have a lot that, students will, during the summer months who were from southern or northern Vermont will also do internships in their home counties as well.
And 70% of our students are Vermonters, and again, live all across the state. So that's why we kind of encourage a lot of summer internship opportunities where the students can participate somewhere close to their home.
Right. Just a little sidebar here too. Last year's class of 17, the senior exit survey revealed that 73% of them are actually working in Vermont. They were so a lot of last year's class are still living here, which is good news. They're living and working here.
So of our 39 majors, we encourage all of our students to get involved in internships. But we wanted to focus on two of our majors during this presentation, just to give you an idea of the type of experiences they're involved in. For our social work majors, during their senior year, they're all involved in field practicums, which will allow them to be in a placement, which is non-paid, and have a minimum of 400 supervised hours. And for those 400 hours, they will receive 12 credits for their experience. And it's a great opportunity because these students are involved in this year-long experience, and every Tuesday and Thursday, they are out in the field in their placement for 8 hours. So they get an opportunity to really get involved in the organization. And what we're finding is a lot of these students, if there are jobs available after their graduation, they are more than likely first in line to fill those jobs. So wonderful opportunities for those students to get involved. And here are some of the placements that they have been in as of this year, just to give you an idea of some of the locations, some local schools here at Castleton, but then a lot of community organizations in the Rutland County area. And again, we're looking at obviously expanding these opportunities for our students to get involved in areas outside of Rutland County as well. Another program we want to talk about is our criminal justice program. They try to focus this program here at Castleton not solely on law enforcement, but a lot on community-based relations and corrections. So again, these students have to participate in a senior internship opportunity. This one is not a full year. It is a one-semester opportunity, but it still gives them an opportunity to connect with the community organization where they can go in and make a difference in their community. And a lot of the opportunities that are available to them are more social justice, homelessness opportunities, reentry opportunities, which are really big down here in Rutland County right now with a variety of different programs. So we want to make sure that some of the students, they do want to go into law enforcement, but a lot of the students want to see what other kind of opportunities are available for them in the community where they can still utilize their criminal justice experience. Now, how to apply for an intern here at Castleton. We have a link that's on this slide here where hiring managers can click on and provide us with all the information they need when they're searching for an intern. And once we receive this information, we send it out to qualified students. And again, we send it out to faculty members as well in hopes that they can recommend a qualified student for your position. Once we identify a student, we will have them contact you directly to get more information about the internship, but also to schedule a possible interview. So you can bring that student or a number of students in and then determine which student is the best fit for your opportunity. And then prior to the intern starting date, again, we go over all the information on the internship application to make sure we have a up-to-date job description, learning objectives, and the faculty members work with the students to create a method of evaluation, which all of our internships are pass-fail, but the faculty member wants to see that there was learning that took place during this experience. So a lot of our faculty members will have our students write a paper, do a presentation about their experience, or some type of evaluation product so that the student can talk about the learning that they received and also demonstrate how they benefited the organization. So that is, and a lot of times when we have those presentations, especially here on campus, we invite the on-site supervisor to those presentations so they can hear firsthand from the students everything they've experienced during their opportunity. So that's our presentation in a nutshell. Just gives us give you an overview of basically how we view internships here at Castleton and how they can be a benefit to your organization.
Great. Well, thank you both. Appreciate your presentation. A lot of things kind of, to me, stuck out really that are really important points are, the fact that you do have that criminal justice program and that you do, have social worker. I believe you said it was a required practicum for social workers.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think those are really, for anybody who is attending the webinar who is involved in either the correctional facilities or criminal justice, it would be really, this is a great opportunity to reach out to people while they're still in college to get them interested in a career in one of those two areas. Question somebody had was around housing allowances. So if somebody was going to be interning maybe in a correctional facility or one of our offices, in the state offices, not close to Castleton or they don't live in Vermont, is there any kind of allowance that you provide to students to intern in places where so they wouldn't have such a long commute?
We do not offer an allowance, but we do work with students to try to determine actually what's the best location for them to do their internship, and if they happen to have family close by, or if they're willing to make that drive. Again, depending on where they live, a lot of our students don't mind driving a little over an hour to an internship opportunity. But at this time, we do not have any allowance for housing.
Okay.
So that's why we try to make that fit to a student who's looking for this opportunity, who might be close to that area, or a student who is willing to drive to that area depending on the experience.
Okay, great. Right. And so you had kind of explained, is there how the process. So if people have questions, their best bet is to reach out to one of the two of you if they have further questions about kind of, understanding the program a little bit more.
Definitely.
Okay, good. Excellent. So another big point I wanted to kind of put across too was the fact that, 70% of your enrollment or your students are Vermonters, and I think Rene alluded to that, the fact that we want to keep them here after their college days are done, and by offering opportunities through internships for them to explore state service, I think would be a great thing for retention, as that's our goal here at the state, is to retain the students here in Vermont and have them, either if they live here, have them stay here. If they came from out of state, to those 30% that came out of state to go to Castleton, to have them think about staying here after they graduate. So
yeah, we were delighted to see that 73% of last year's class is working in Vermont. I mean, that's because that does not, that's not going with the trend, and I'm thrilled that that's so high.
And that's one of our goals, is to make sure that we make our students aware of the opportunities available, because you hear from a lot of students saying that there's not a lot of opportunity for them to stay here. And we don't believe that. There are a lot of opportunities, but we need to make them aware of the opportunities. So that's what we focus on here on campus, is getting out in the community, talking to people, and finding out what these opportunities are, and making sure we present those opportunities to our students and to our faculty members, so they can talk to the students about these opportunities as well.
Absolutely. Now that's the important part of this. That's the way we're going to retain top talent here in the state. So I don't see any other questions now. So Crispin and Rene, thank you so much for your presentation. I really appreciate it. All right, well, Thanks again, and welcome. This is the second half of our internship webinar presentation for today. This is the last one in our series for this this winter, hopefully spring soon. And we're really excited to have Rose and Angelique from Southern New Hampshire University on the line here to present their program and answer any questions you have. So please do ask questions, because this is a good time to be able to have them here live, so that they can answer any questions that you have directly. So again, there is a question box in your GoToWebinar toolbox, which is pinned to the top right corner usually. You can twirl down the little section that says questions and put your questions in there, and we will ask them at the end of their presentation. But please do ask questions if you have them. So with that said, I want to turn it over to Angelique and Rose from SNHU. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you, Bill, for having us, and thank you, everyone. At this point, I would love to share my screen.
Okay, should I turn the presentation to you, Angelique? Is that who has the slides?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, great. So you should be able to do that. Thank you. Perfect.
All right. Again, thank you, Bill, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Angelique Kim, and I'm a Career Services Business Development Partner with Southern New Hampshire University, or SNHU Career. And today, Rose, Wynn, and I will be sharing information on the customized recruitment solutions that we can provide the state of Vermont. So these will be our objectives for our session this afternoon. Rose and I will be reviewing SNHUs History and Model for Success, along with our structure of our business units. We will also provide an overview of career services, share a little bit more information about the customized partnership opportunities that we offer our employer partners, and then we'll dive deeply into SNHU in Vermont and internship opportunities and how we can partner with you in that regard.
Thank you, Angelique, and thank you, Bill. It's a pleasure to be here with everybody today. My name is Rose, also with the Southern New Hampshire University career team. And just to share a little bit about SNHU's history, Southern New Hampshire University was actually founded back in 1932 by H.A.B. Shapiro. It was originally called the New Hampshire School of Accounting and Secretarial Science, and the school remained pretty small all the way through 1961, when it was incorporated and renamed the New Hampshire College of Accounting and Commerce. In 1963, the state of New Hampshire granted the university its charter, which gave it degree granting authority. And the first associate degrees were awarded that year, and the first bachelor's degrees were begun and conferred just a few years later. The college became a nonprofit institution and remains nonprofit to this day, working under a board of trustees since 1968. And the name was shortened to New Hampshire College in '69. The university has continued to grow in many dynamic ways since then. Through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, there were new programs added. The physical site in Manchester, New Hampshire now comprises a 300-acre campus right there on the Merrimack River, and really provides a nice baseline to the culture and the broader organizational dynamics for the university, as there's been massive expansion in the online division in the 2000s. Roughly 15 years ago, Southern New Hampshire University started an online division to provide student enrollment opportunities across the United States, and that has taken off. What began as a few hundred online students now comprises over 95,000 students enrolled online across the U.S. So with the graduates from both our on-campus, historical, current on-campus enrollment, as well as our online division, we now have alumni also across the United States in the tens of thousands. So it's been fun to see this massive growth in the SNHU community at large, with the addition of programs that now comprises over 200 different degree offerings, and growing from there. So we today have 6 different colleges in regard to the programmatic offerings. We have our School of Business, School of Education, and School of Liberal Arts. We also have a STEM division, programs within the College of Social Sciences, and so the programmatic variety is broad. So that's a little bit about the history of SNHU, and I will pass it on to Angelique to talk a little bit more about our different educational platforms.
Thank you, Rose. In terms of the 3 educational platforms that we offer our students, we currently have Campus, Online, and College for America. The campus offering is your traditional campus, and that is located in Manchester, New Hampshire. We do have about 3,000 students through that educational platform. And as Rose mentioned earlier, connected to the history of SNHU, we also have the online division in which we have students across the country and internationally, roughly over 90,000 students in over 200 programs through that educational platform. And lastly, we have College for America, which is a part, an educational offering that is a part of our workforce partnerships group at SNHU. And this group, Workforce Partnerships, works with organizations in providing educational and professional development opportunities for employees within those organizations. It's really the consultative and research arm of SNHU in that it works directly with organizations on retention strategies of its employees and really identifying any skills gaps within those organizations. And that College for America educational offering is a part of that group within SNHU. So as you can see here, we have very broad opportunities for students to engage with us from an educational standpoint that really serves to help them enhance their career and also their opportunities post-graduation, depending on the goals that they have set for their individual lives. At this point, I'll hand it off again to Rose to really dive into SNHU career and how we provide support for our students from day one.
Thanks, Angelique. And that really is the goal for career support at Southern Hampshire University. We do seek to provide that lifelong structure for career development from day one of the student's enrollment. By doing so, we're hoping to align career planning and progression within the student's academic journey, and thus ensure that each student's educational and career goals fully dovetail and result in strong career success post-graduation. The large majority of students that come to Southern Hampshire University enroll with a career-related goal as the objective for completing their education. So career very much is the cornerstone in regard to having a strong foundation of success for students, not only as they're completing their degree requirements, but then also moving forward from there and being able to utilize their education in a meaningful way within the workforce. So this illustration shares some scope in regard to how that is provided. For early students who are early on in their academic pathway, we focus on many of the practical elements of career development and helping them acquire the skill set needed to write and tailor beautiful resumes and cover letters, have their career documents set, begin building portfolios, perhaps a dynamic version of that, as many students are building portfolios as a website or other variable platform structures in order to share it out in the best way that's suitable for their given industry, target industry for their field of education. So that is a lot of where the early part-time focus for our career education lies. As students progress, we of course support them as needed with their career exploration, learning about all the different offerings that they may consider in regard to the direction for their career path, start building experience, whether that be through internships or experiential learning or a combination of that, so that they are taking meaningful steps forward in having experience to build to their education. And then as they move towards their point of graduation, we do personally assist students in their job search efforts so that as they are seeking employment, while we can't guarantee placement as a nonprofit institution, we do try to support each student in the greatest extent possible to secure meaningful employment in their field. So that is definitely an integral piece of the students' in-program career experience. We do offer lifelong career support for all alumni as well. So there are many students who come back to SNHU Career and secure our services and support, 5 or 10 years post-graduation. So we're always there as that lifelong tie to the university for their ongoing career development.
Thank you, Rose. As Rose mentioned earlier, we do provide comprehensive services and career support for our students in achieving their goals. And these are the resources and support areas in which we provide our students. One of them being, and that you'll see listed here, the Ready to Refer program. This is a heavy emphasis for our group at SNHU Career, and this is pretty much our key strategy to tailor support for both students and employers. We prepare our students for a targeted search, and in doing so, ensure that we are able to deliver a small number of highly qualified candidates for every employer hiring need. SNHU is poised to be essentially your one-stop shop to seek new talent for every level of the state of Vermont. We partner closely with employers throughout the recruitment process. We vet our student and alumni candidates for you to reduce the number of applicants to process through resume screening, interviewing, and hiring consideration. And in doing so, reduce the time and overhead you need to invest in recruiting candidates who are an excellent match for both the job and the state of Vermont's culture, mission, and values. And with that, I will hand it back to Rose to discuss some of the career connections that we provide our student population.
Thanks, Angelique. We do have a very rich history of alumni success. As I mentioned earlier, and Angelique has also spoken to, many of our students come to SNHU with a career-related goal in mind and then are moving intentionally in that direction from the early phases of their academic progression. So that translates into some very well-qualified candidates post-graduation. And we've been happy to see that many of our students land in companies where they have the joy of a very long tenure with each employer. And so on the employer side, that's always an attractive factor in regard to increasing retention and reducing turnover, such that your costs not only for recruitment, but for long-term gains can be enhanced. So when this comes to working with our alumni on the academic side, moving forward from their graduation and career advancement, this also serves us well in that we're able to create some very unique alumni partnerships. And one of the key driving factors we seek is to facilitate ongoing alumni giving, not solely or primarily through monetary donations, as is typical for many alumni giving structures, but rather by focusing on helping the alumni to leverage their time and skill set as a way to give back to the university. So we open up many different channels for alumni to engage with current students, to facilitate informational interviews, job shadow opportunities, and potentially even seek out an internship or employment opportunities within their own organizations, as they're able to also recruit new talent for their companies. So in doing so, we're able to enhance the quality of the current student experience while also tapping into this deep well of talent, knowledge, and skill within our alumni community. And Angelique will now talk a little bit more about how this relates to business development.
Yes, thank you, Rose. And as I mentioned at the start of the presentation, we are your customized recruitment solution. Rose and I are part of the business development team at SNHU Career. Rose is the assistant director of business development, and she leads our team. And I am one of 6 business development partners that focuses on programmatic areas in terms of providing students in the Ready to Refer program support, as well as connecting with employers that are looking to hire our students. And I will share more details about this as we go along in the presentation, but moving forward, I will be the state of Vermont's primary contact in terms of sharing opportunities with our students and facilitating those connections. And our mission is to really become your full service recruitment partner. We support your recruitment for talent at every level of your organization. As I mentioned earlier, in relation to the Ready to Refer program, we screen and vet applicants for you so that you see the most qualified candidates for the internships and full-time opportunities that you offer. And we do refer those candidates that fully align with the job specifications that you're looking for and that are a fit with your organization and culture. And this really reduces the man hours and resources from an HR and hiring manager perspective in your process, and whatever we can do to help our employer partners with the recruitment process so that it's easier on your end. That's why we're here, and we're here to partner with you in that capacity. And as Rose mentioned earlier, ultimately we'd love to optimize the retention within your organization and reduce your turnover. And at this point, I'd like to hand it off to Rose once again to discuss some of the partnership opportunities that the business development team offers the employers that we partner with.
Thanks, Angelique. So there's a variety of ways that employers can work with our business development group within the SNHU Career Services team to share out about their opportunities and promote their employer brand. One of the most basic ways, of course, is posting internships and jobs on our job board, which is called SNHU Recruit. It's basically like a career builder, but exclusive to SNHU students and alumni. So any active recruitment for internships or jobs can be posted there. And those are then visible to the full SNHU community of students and alumni, which again numbers over 100,000 in combination of students and alumni across the United States. So that's one of the baseline ways to engage with our students. But beyond that, we love to have opportunities to help our employers to have direct communication, whether virtually or face-to-face, with our students and alumni. So that could take place virtually through an employer spotlight. An employer spotlight typically runs like a virtual webinar, an information session where the employer can share out about their organization, the structure, their company culture, the types of career paths that are available within the organization, as well as sharing about any current recruitment opportunity that may be taking place at that time. The students in attendance then have that opportunity to dialogue with the employer in any way that they would like. Typically, there's some Q&A following the information sharing, and that might be followed up with some invitations to interview or submit resumes and applications for those that are interested and potentially well suited for the opportunities that are featured within the spotlight. So those take place throughout the year. We often host evening sessions as this makes it more accessible to students who are often working while also attending school. So we're able to maximize the employer and the student traction and engagement through those evening spotlight sessions. We have a number of other mediums through which we share out about our fantastic employer partners and the opportunities they have available for career paths. We have a blog where we do invite employers to share posts, again, featuring maybe something unique about their organization or the career paths available there, or Some employers have shared out about what a top candidate looks like in their organization, and thus increase their visibility to our students and alumni, as well as the potential strength and alignment for students who would choose to pursue opportunities with the organization. We have a number of social media channels through which our employers engage with us, one of the top ones being LinkedIn, as we have, of course, many in the employer realm who are already actively engaged there. We host a LinkedIn page specific to our business development team where we post top talent features from the Ready to Refer program that Angelique has described, so that some of those students who are highly qualified and actively seeking employment have their qualifications and profile posted there. We also receive information from employers and help to provide introductions between students and employers through LinkedIn, as that's a highly convenient medium for that communication and engagement. Within Twitter, we do host a monthly tweet chat, which is a live event where employers and students can tweet with one another. Usually it surrounds a themed topic that might be seasonally or job market appropriate in relationship to what the employer is trying to accomplish in their engagement with our students and alumni. So some examples of topics we've covered before have included internships. We've had some employers who are specifically recruiting for large numbers of internship opportunities, and through that tweet chat, we're able to engage with our students, share about the opportunities, answer questions, and identify potentially well-suited candidates for those opportunities. So just another medium where we're able to help folks to meet up in convenient places. We also, of course, offer virtual and on-campus career fairs, which are like your traditional career fairs where employers can host a booth, share about their current recruitment, and students can engage with the conversation and apply for those opportunities. And then as much as possible, we host regional networking and career events across the US, since again, our students are sprinkled from coast to coast within the United States and some abroad, as Angelique had mentioned. We don't do networking events abroad yet, but within the United States, we've held them through every corner of the US where we have large pockets of students and interest in employer engagement in those face-to-face networking opportunities.
Thank you, Rose. And with all of those partnership opportunities that we offer employers that we work with, there's a considerable amount of synergy that is created in goals and outcomes. It's really a win-win, mutually beneficial relationship between SNHU and the employers that we work with. And through our collaboration, this really provides students and alumni with enhanced exposure to your organization and culture and mission as well. And through our partnership, there's really an opportunity to connect our students with the state of Vermont through a variety of ways that you'll see listed here. Mentorship opportunities, providing informational interviews and job shadow opportunities, as well as internships, which leads us to a nice segue into diving into SNHU in Vermont and what that looks like. Rose and I felt that it was important before we dove into SNHU in Vermont and internships to give a broader overview and background in terms of SNHU and where we've come from and career itself, given that this is our first time presenting to hiring managers in the state of Vermont, and we're happy to be here and look forward to our future collaboration. And with that said, I'll hand it back to Rose so that we can go into more detail about, as I mentioned, what SNHU looks like in Vermont.
Fantastic. Thank you, Angelique. So within Vermont, we have to date 649 actively enrolled students with over 5,000 active students. And that 5,000 number does include graduated alumni. They're labeled as students still within our system. So you're seeing the combination of students and alumni within that 5,000 number. Our programs of enrollment definitely have some stronger pockets. As we noted earlier, there's over 200 degree programs offered at SNHU, but within Vermont specifically, our enrollment tends to focus in the areas of nursing, business at both the undergraduate and graduate level, accounting, and then some of our social sciences such as psychology. So this is the numbers for the 649 actively enrolled that you're seeing within the chart of numbers of students. And then of course, as we look more broadly beyond the alumni, there would be some expansion based on those larger pockets that follow the same trends.
Great, thank you, Rose. And in terms of the types of internships, the most common internship programs that our students have completed from SNHU, these are the most common internship programs. You'll see them listed here. So in terms of the state of Vermont and where our student interests lie in connection with the internships that you may offer, our students would be most a fit with departments within the state of Vermont that provide opportunities in these areas.
And within those internship areas, looking at our history of student internships across all programs, about 23% of our students complete paid internships, and about 77 of those are unpaid. From the unpaid internships, most of those are opportunities that have the potential to lead to full-time employment. So for all of our 4-credit internship offerings, we do try to ensure that students have a strong experience in regard to utilizing their academic skill set within the scope of the internship role, so that it's project-based, and they're also receiving close supervision from the employer in the quality of their work and their guidance of any training or skill development that might take place in the course of doing their project-based work for the employer. So it's been wonderful to see that a large number of our students do secure employment through their internship. So anywhere between 30 and 60% year over year. There's variation, of course, year to year, but usually 30 to 60% of students do land a full-time opportunity as a result of completing an internship.
Thank you, Rose. And I did, and Rose and I actually both spoke about SNHU Recruit as your opportunity to share internship postings with our students through our free online database. I won't go into the details of here in terms of how to log in and register. I understand that this webinar is being recorded and that you'll have access to these slides after the presentation. So these are the instructions in terms of how to share positions with our students. And as I mentioned earlier, I will be your primary contact in terms of getting your internship opportunities in front of our students. And I'd be happy to serve as a resource there. And with that being said, thank you for sharing your time today. This is our contact information for both Rose and I, as well as Darren Held. Darren is the internship manager within SNHU Career. And in terms of any internship concerns, when students intern with the state of Vermont, he will be your primary contact in that regard. Thanks again, and we're now open to your questions.
Great. Well, thank you, Angelique and Rose. I appreciate it. That was a great presentation. I really am excited by the fact that you have such a great outreach around helping build an employer brand, by interfacing with you on many different levels, many different programs. So that's great, and you give many different opportunities for our hiring managers to get in front of your students. So that's fantastic. I did have one question actually a couple questions, but you did answer one of them about how many Vermonters actually attend SNHU, so that was answered. But do you know of any student, either current or alumni, that has done an internship with the state of Vermont?
Hi, Bill. We actually currently do not have that data available in terms of the history of any current or past alums that have completed an internship with the state of Vermont. In terms of getting that data, it is something that SNHU Career is building out in terms of strategies and ways to really get that data from students from moving forward.
Okay, great, no problem. I didn't think you would have it, but you know, you may not have it now, but you know,
but for future, yeah.
Didn't hurt to ask. So,
Yeah.
And then somebody asked, I don't know if somebody had asked me if there's any planned, you know, physical campus, satellite campuses for Vermont, you know, in the near future. You might not know that yet or no, but that somebody had just brought that up and asked that.
That's a great question, Bill. This is Rose. I'll go ahead and jump in and note that we do have some center locations outside of Manchester. So they've historically varied throughout Maine, New Hampshire, and actually Vermont. We had one that was active not so long ago. And I think with the growth of the online program, we've had decreased enrollment in our center. So we've seen a few of those shut down. And I'm not sure that we'd be opening new center locations, but again, through the online program offerings, we do have students regionally dispersed all over, including throughout the state of Vermont.
Sure. Yep. No, makes sense. Okay, good. So with that, that's all the questions I have now. If I get any other ones, I'll send them along to you. But again, like Rose and Angelique had mentioned, this presentation will be available online to anybody interested in reviewing it again, and also the slide deck will be available online to look at, to reference, and we'll also be sending it to any people who registered who weren't able to attend today. And then for any other hiring manager, whether they registered or not, will have access to this too. So with that being said, thanks again to Rene and Crispin from Castleton University, and then Angelique and Rose from SNHU. We really appreciate it, and thank you for attending. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for having us. Take care, and we look forward to your collaboration.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Angelique. Take care, everyone.